Hi, welcome back. So once you're done creating the product, once you're done creating your marketing materials, you're setting up shop on seller, creating your marketing message, then the next important step is to put your link, the link to your store, is to put it in front of eyeballs. So basically what we call that in internet marketing is traffic. You drive traffic to your website. When they say you drive traffic to your website, that means you advertise that product or service or your website, you advertise it to people who would be interested in buying what you have to buy or in consuming the content that you want them to consume. And so what we are going to be doing here is to use Facebook ads. There are other ways to drive traffic to your website. You could use YouTube ads, you could use TikTok ads, but for the purpose of this training, we're going to be focusing solely on Facebook because I'm not really an expert at talking about YouTube ads and the rest of them. I wanted to start trying it at the end of the year of last year, but I've not really got the time to settle down and learn about it before going to start using it. So maybe at some point in this year I might learn about it, or maybe not. Maybe I might hire an expert when I need to create bigger campaigns than what I'm creating now. But basically we're just going to be focusing on Facebook for the purpose of this training. All right. So what you people usually do, I've watched taking some programs like this or some trainings like this or some courses like this, and what I see is that a lot of these people, what they do is they just go into the nitty gritty immediately. Not really the nitty gritty, rather they go into they just go direct into how to create the Facebook ads. Like they go to the tactics and the techniques, showing you all this advanced stuff. Remember, what we're trying to do is to keep it simple, and then we talk about principles, strategies, tactics, techniques. So it's important for you to have an idea of the principles, the base, before you start doing anything on Facebook. Because a lot of these courses that I see, like I said, that teach you how to just go into the Facebook ad and then you start running around creating your page, doing this, doing that, without really having an understanding of what you're doing, without really understanding the why around what you're doing. The when problem comes, you cannot troubleshoot to know why you're having that problem. You cannot troubleshoot to know why am I having this issue. So I'm going to avoid that kind of teaching. I'm going to show you, I'm going to take you through some things that I consider to be very important, so that by the time you get into the nitty gritty of the thing of this thing of creating the Facebook ads, it begins to make sense to you why we are doing what we are doing. Okay, so I already prepared this document that I called Facebook ads. Oh, my neighbor's children said they're returning back from school. Sorry about the noise. So I created this thing I called Facebook ads the beginning. Facebook ads the beginning, and we'll talk about some things that are important before we go into the meat and the potatoes of creating your ads. Okay, so for me, Facebook ad used to be so easy to do like 10 10 years ago, right? 10 years, 9, sorry, 10, 11, 12 years ago. I joined Facebook as around 2009 or 2008. I traveled down to Benin, and I did not have a phone. It was very difficult to browse. That time to get browsing, we used to do cheats to browse on our phones, but I didn't even have a phone that could browse at that time. I was just fresh from secondary school, and I did not really have a phone that could browse at that time. And so when I got down to Benin to see my cousins for the holiday, my cousin had this laptop, and so when I had the opportunity to browse, I just went on it and then I created a Facebook account. That account, I've been using it since that time up until now. And as at that early stage, those early stages, when people were not much on Facebook, the platform was it was so easy. Like things were not difficult at all, right? When I got into the internet marketing space in 2014, it was super easy to run any kind of ad on Facebook, any kind of ad. Ads, even the ads that they will ban today, you could run them on Facebook. Dating ads, ads to do with sexual health, ads to do with alcohol, ads to do with, I think, even gun. That time people promoted guns on Facebook. Any kind of ads, anything went on the platform at that time. Anything, like they were accepting every and anything, right? So people who took advantage of the platform at that time, those early days, they were the ones who enjoyed the platform the most, because you could put, like, again, you could put up anything and no restrictions. You don't get banned easily. Your ads will run, and there were not as much advertisers on Facebook as we have now. Back then, there were not much advertisers back then as we have on Facebook now. So it was not as competitive as it is now. So ads were cheap to run. You get tons and tons of traffic, to your websites then, and then make lots of sales because the platform was just so easy to start. But I think as from around 2015, 2016, things started to change, right? We started to see the red eye of Mark Zuckerberg, you know, and they became stricter, and that's why we started seeing these Facebook policies that were coming up, and you run ads and the ads gets approved for a while, and then maybe after running the ads for 4 days the ads get slammed. So it has become a lot difficult now, like I would say, to run ads on Facebook. And so it is something that you have to learn about before you go on the platform if you want to keep your account for a while. Because the thing that you don't want is to go into the platform and you start running your ads. Maybe you run ads for like a week or 2 weeks, and this ad is doing fantastically well. You're making money from it, and then you decide to do something else. Maybe run another ads with a different angle or different creatives, and then you get slammed. Your account gets slammed. So everything that you have been doing from the start now becomes like a waste of time. So you have to start from scratch again, build your account again, and so it becomes like a waste of time. It becomes something that is going to frustrate your business efforts. So that's something that you don't want. And so it becomes very important that you familiarize yourself with a lot of things before you go into the Facebook ad account. That's why I'm trying to tell you all of this. Okay? Because one of the things that got me very pissed in 2018, 2017, 2018, 2016, 2017, 2018, around those 3 years was that I would I was getting slammed back to back, back to back, back to back by Facebook for ads I wanted to run. I had this account that, like the account I was telling you I created in 2009, 2008, 2009, the Facebook account, not the Facebook ad account. Facebook accounts I created in 2008, 2009 because it was a premium account since it was aged. It's what we call an aged account. That account was doing really well. It was a dollar account. I had grown that account to be able to run up to $250 ads before Facebook would charge me for ads. And so that was just beautiful, right? I could run ads for $250, before Facebook would actually charge me for it. That's what's called a postpaid ad account, right? You run ads to a certain threshold. Every dollar account is a postpaid ad account. You run out to a certain threshold before Facebook charges you. Unlike the Naira account that we have is prepaid. You have to put in money first before you run ad. So that account was very, very good. It was doing really well because of that advantage that I had until I think it was 2018 when they slammed the account when I was trying to promote some stuff on Expert Now. All right, and that annoyed me so much because I was doing well with this account, and then all of a sudden the Facebook ban hammer came from nowhere and just grind my business to a halt, to a halt. And so I had to start from scratch. And then I went to create some other account, and then they will slam that one. I'll create another one. They will slam that one. I'll create another. And so for years, for some time, I didn't run Facebook ads again until I think about 2020. And then the same thing kept repeating itself. And then I just totally got frustrated with Facebook. And then I left the platform for a while until last year again. So you want to familiarize yourself with a lot of things that a lot of things about this platform before you go in, and that's what I'm going to try to do here. I'm going to try to help you understand these things so that you don't make the same mistakes that lots of people make when they go on the Facebook platform. So the first thing I'm going to tell you here is these are just general stuff that you will find useful later, principles that you will find useful later. But in the next video we're going to talk about the major things to keep, yeah, to watch out for so that your account don't get banned. But for these ones, these are just some general stuff that you want to know. So if you are writing your ad on Facebook, you want to keep it below 2200 characters. 2200 characters. That's because if you are going to choose the option for your ads to also appear instantaneously, sorry, simultaneously on Instagram, then you want this ad to be able to appear on Instagram, because if your ad exceeds 200, 2,200 characters, then it's not going to appear on Instagram. Okay, so if you want your ad to appear simultaneously on Instagram as on Facebook, then you want to keep your characters below 2,000 characters. When we say characters, we're not talking about words, we're talking about characters. So your comma, your space, your apostrophe, your full stop, your iPhone, anything that you're adding to that write up is going to count. So you want to take note of that. um when you're creating your ads, you want to target audience that should be at least 1 million in audience, the audience size. So when we get into the Facebook ad account, if you're not familiar with Facebook ads, when we get into the practical part, aspect of creating ads, you're going to see how they show you your audience size. So you want to take it as a rule of thumb to ensure that every ad that you run has an audience size of at least 1 million. Because at a point, you get to a point where there's something called ad fatigue. What ad fatigue means is that a lot of people in your audience have seen your ads over and over again, right? And so I don't want to say it's no longer useful, but it's no longer something that is novel to them. So a lot of people have become immune to your ad. That's the word. A lot of people have become immune to your ad. And so what's going to happen at that time is that people are no longer clicking, people are no longer engaging with the ad, and your CPM, that's your cost per impression, is going to skyrocket. Okay, so in order to avoid something like that, in order to not get to that point very quickly, you want a sizable audience size, a sizable size of people, a sizable number of people rather. You want a sizable number of people, and 1 million is a very good benchmark. At least 1 million people is a very good benchmark to start. So whenever you're trying to run out and you see that you have done all your targeting and the audience size is below 1 million, you might want to be worried a bit and try to see how you can scale it up to that amount, because taking audience fatigue into consideration. You want to also allow your ads to run for between 4 and 7 days before deciding whether to keep or discard. Now, one thing I noticed, or one thing I've seen a lot of people do, a lot of marketing groups, and I've seen a lot of people start running ads. Just the first day they run this ad, maybe the ad will had been running for 18 hours, and no sale. The ad, it looks like it's not performing well, and then they come crying in these groups, marketing groups, and say, "Oh, I started running this ad yesterday. This ad is not doing well. Why is it? What can happen? Why is this not happening? Why is that not happening?" Well, the thing with Facebook is that it takes some time for the Facebook algorithm to pick up on what is going to work for your ad. So ideally, when you start running an ad, you don't want to run the ad one day and then you say, this ad doesn't look like it's working, and then you cut it off and start it all over again. You're not going to give time to the Facebook algorithm to learn what works for your ad, what is going to work for your product, the particular and the specific audience that will be perfect for your product. You're not going to give any time to learn it. Okay, so you want to ideally allow your ads run for 4 to 7 days to feed Facebook algorithm enough data, and then maybe things will just pick up from there. So for example, an ad I started running an ad recently. I think that was Friday. I started running that ad on Friday, and okay, when I say Friday, I'm talking about four days ago. 4 days. Today's Tuesday. 4 days ago or 5 days ago. 4 days ago. So I started running that ad on Friday, 4 days ago. And on the first day, I put 5,000 naira as a daily budget, to test as a startup. And on the first day, we had only one sale for a product that was selling for 2,000 naira, 2,000, 2005. And only on the first day we had only one sale, and I'm thinking, I'm sorry, I'm not bothered, because I know that it will take some time for it to Facebook to pick up on what is going to work. The next day, what happened was that we got 6 sales. If I'd killed that product the first day and said, this is not going to make sales, what do you think would have happened? You don't give the sorry, if I kill that ad the first day after just one sale and say, oh, I took a loss today because I spent 3,000 and something naira on the ad and I got back just 2,000 naira, so I took a loss. If I decided to just kill that because of that first day, then maybe this thing would have not picked up. You see? So you want to give you want to give the Facebook algorithm that buffer of 4 to 7 days to learn to learn about the audience that will work perfectly for your ad, and then it starts, and then the ads can easily pick up from there and be optimized to show to the best audience. And after that time, maybe everything will come down, the cost per click, the conversion rate, the CPM, that's cost per impression, all of those things would come down. So what I would advise, if you have 10,000 naira that you want to start running ads with, say this is my budget for running ads, you can share. That's what will not determine how much you start to test your ad with. So you might share that 10,000 naira into 5 days, say about 5 days. So you say 2,000 naira today, 2,000 naira tomorrow, 2,000 naira on Wednesday, 2,000 naira on Thursday, 2,000 naira on Friday. So that would be the ad budget. You start with 2,000 naira and make sure that the ad runs for those 5 days at least, right? To now say, okay, this is working. I've got some sales here. The sales cover up for the ad expenses. Then we can leave this and let it keep running. Because now what's going to happen is that Facebook can now understand. Facebook might now understand who this ad is more perfect for, or who this ad is perfect for, and then they'll start showing it more to those kind of people. Okay, so that's something that is very important for you to take cognizance of. And normally we would test a bunch of creatives before scaling winning campaigns. So normally you would have to create like 2, 3, 4, 5 different kind of ads, to test. And then from the test you cannot decide that, okay, this one is working, you scale; this one is not working, you kill. That's what you're supposed to do. But from this part of the world, we are operating on a tight budget. Many people who start business in this part of the world, we are operating on tight budget. So we are maybe going to skip this. So I'm going to show you how to try and create something that would most likely work from the get-go rather, and leave it to run for some days. Then you can have an idea from that to see what works. So once you have something that is working, then you keep on creating more ads. You test more audience, test more angles, test more creatives, right? Test more creatives, pictures, pictures versus videos versus some other kind of sorry, pictures versus videos. You test that. You test different kind of copies, different kind of hooks, right? So we'll get into all of this. So once you have, you can just start with one ad, and once you have that ad running and it's working, you can now start testing different things to see if you can even better the result that you're getting from the other one. Okay, so that's something to also note. And I want you to understand that your ads can bomb. Your ads can bomb. So it is not given that you just go and start running Facebook ads today and it works right off the bat. It is not a given. So you have to have this at the back of your mind that, oh, I might run this ad and it bombs. What will happen then is you don't give up. You have to go again. You have to go again. You have to test a different angle, test a different creative, test something different to what you have already done to see if it would work. All right, to see if it would work. So you have to have that at the back of your mind also. You're not entitled to smashing it with your Facebook ads right from the get-go. You should also worry less about targeting. Ad message and offer are now more important. So in the early days of Facebook, like I was saying, in the early days of Facebook ads, I don't think I would say I was part of the early days of Facebook ads, because I started marketing in 2014, and then Facebook had become a bit popular among internet marketers, right? But I would say I was close to those people who first used Facebook ads, right? So back then, people were so big about targeting. You have to target, you have to hyper target the most people who are passionate about your niche, so that you make more sales that way. But now, from what I am saying, it is not about that anymore. We do, like, in this part of the world, we do a lot of zero targeting, something called zero targeting, which I'll show you later on. In That's a technique or a tactic, a targeting tactic in your ad set. And when we get into the practical part, I'll show you what zero targeting is. So in this part of the world, we mostly do zero targeting now, right? And the ads still work. The campaigns still work, because now you have to be more focused on your ad message, what you are saying in your ad, what you are telling people in your ad. You have to be more conscious about those, and also the offer. The offer is very, very important. The offer is very, very important. Remember, we talked about offer, as one of the secret sources for selling products. I mean, for making your product sell like hotcakes. Okay, so the offer is very important. Now, I want to drive on this point of offer. Let's say an analogy just came to my head. Let's say that you went to a neighbor, right? You went to your neighbor's house and you knock on your neighbor's door and you say, neighbor, I have 2,000 naira. I'm severely hungry, like I'm famished. I'm at the point of I'm at the point of death because I am hungry, right? And then you say half 2,000 naira. Yeah, what can you give me for 2,000 naira that I can eat? And your neighbor say, okay, I can give you one rubber of rice. I think it's rubber of rice they call it, or some places they call it basket of rice. I can give you one rubber of rice or one basket of rice. I can give you oil, a jar of oil. I can give you Maggi. I can give you sorry seasoning cubes. I can give you all these ingredients that you need to cook the rice. And maybe as you're discussing with this person, you perceive the smell of food coming from another apartment close to your neighbor, right? Close to your neighbor, and then you go to that place and you knock on the door and say, I have 2,000 naira here. I'm famished. I'm hungry. What can you give me for 2,000 naira? And this person says, I'll give you a plate of rice, freshly cooked, and two pieces of croaker fish, and then one cup or a glass of orange juice. Now, the neighbor that you first met, probably gave you more value for money. Like the things that she was going to give you were way more valuable. Like the quantity of the things that she was going to give to you, or he was going to give to you, was what more than what you're giving to him. But this other one, it is not. It doesn't really look that way. But at that point, who do you think that this person is going to pay that money to? At that point, I think it's going to be the person whose food is already made. That already made food, because at that point, that is what they need the most. So that's what offer is. That is what an offer is. An offer takes into consideration what the person needs the most, and then you combine those things and then you give to the person, and it becomes almost impossible to say no. So offer is very important. And so if you can create this kind of offers and alight them with your Facebook ads, is more important than targeting, in my opinion, as we will see when we get into the practical part. And then the last thing is what I would say here is a conversion campaign all freaking ways. Every time that you go into your Facebook account to create an ad to sell your product, it has to be a conversion campaign. Or when we get into the practical, you see what I'm trying to say. Do not for any reason create traffic campaign. Do not, right? It is a total waste of time. It is a total waste of time. I'll show you when we get into the practical part again. I'll show you one campaign I was trying to create for my smoothie recipe product. At the very beginning, we created this product. 138 people clicked to the website and not a single person bought. But immediately we changed to a conversion campaign. Within the space of 2 hours of about, I think it was just about 42 people clicking to the website, and we got our first sale from that product, right? So do not for any reason run traffic campaign when you're looking for sales. So it should always be a conversion ads, because they are the most optimized for what you're trying to do. So these are some of the things that I wanted you to learn. I wanted you to have this in your at the back of your mind, so that when we get into the practical part, you now know exactly why we are doing these things that we are doing. All right, I'll see you in the next one, which is about familiarizing yourself with some of the things that Facebook frown against, and I'll see you in that one. Bye.